How do we find motivation to stick to a spiritual life when we're in doubt? And how do we trust that that it's working and that we're being supported even when we don't feel like it?
That's a great question. John Perkins has something called Posse Guides, and he says that doubts are your enemies. They are your enemies, and you have to, as he says, banish them mercilessly. When a doubt enters your mind, you get rid of it. I mean, you be really aggressive about getting rid of a doubt. Now, that seems like a lot of hubris, a lot of pride. It's not that. This is just a humble saying, we're going to do this.
I've heard Dharma Mitra, he calls it angry determination, like that sort of gritty, like sometimes just the world needs, or your and maybe individual world needs that, maybe as something to counter passivity.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It is, it is natural to have doubts and to be working hard on something for a while and think, I'm really not seeing any results. It's also a challenge to your faith. That also gets back to something that's really fundamental about how we feel about the universe, how we're raised, how we're taught. Science has told us that the universe is probably indifferent to us, but that's not what the shamans teach. The shamans teach us that the universe is on our side. Now, interestingly, quantum physics has come around and said, we're actually starting to think that maybe the universe is on our side. That there are results of scientific experiments that are explainable only if the universe is trying to give us the results that we want. So that suggests that it's actually favorable to us. That's why I say it's also a question of our faith and pushing through when we don't think that anything is happening. The crazy thing is that you're going to get to this place and all of a sudden magic's going to start to happen.
Yeah, I'm instantly thinking of like thoughts and emotions as magnetic. When you say things like the universe is on our side, or the spirit guides, or whatever's on the other side trying to help us along, how much of it are we letting in? Like our receptivity to that.
Mm-hmm.
How does shamanism sharpen that tool, or how does it bring us closer to our guides and our intuition and purpose and all those kinds of things?
One thing that we have to remember is we're not immune to the things around us. And our culture does not support this, not as a rule. So imagine yourself as a little stone in the middle of a stream. Just let the water run around you. If you try to fight it, you're never going to win. Just let it wash all around you and just be yourself in the middle of it.
So self-acceptance.
Right. Acknowledge that you feel those things and then say, I'm not going to participate in this. Probably one of the biggest things that people who have a trouble seeing on journeys, and they might work on this for a while. We're all visual. We're all visual. If I asked you right now, can you in your mind run like a movie, you getting up this morning, getting out of bed, going to the bathroom, getting into the shower, getting dressed? You can see that clearly. So it's not as though you're not visual. Now, journeying is a little different because then we're trying to become passive and just let the images come to us. But we can visualize. With time and practice, everyone can see.